this week. Only 6 minutes late. That may be a personal best for fresh off the clock, to be honest with you.
It's
John's been a guest a couple of times, and he can attest to you that, well, be glad this isn't a day job because I would be fired for being late so many consecutive days.
it's all right. I was late to lunch with my mom today, so we can
Well, that's the important stuff
it's
right
fine.
there, you know.
I paid for it, so that's all that matters.
Oh yeah, she'll be fine. While we wait for some people to get in here, John, I guess what y'all don't have to eat?
So we went to First Watch, which isn't a place that anywhere down in in that area that would probably know about, but it's like a breakfast place, and I had like a egg. It's like a breakfast, like a lunch type place, brunch. It was like egg, potatoes, bacon. It was fire with some pumpkin spice donuts, and my mom had avocado toast with some eggs. So she
It
gets
sounds like a
everything.
fire start to a Tuesday, huh? What a Tuesday right there.
Yeah, yeah. And then I go to the gym, and now I'm here.
Dude, being back north, nothing against the South at all, but I lived in South Jersey a good portion of my life. And so you're like a 2 hour drive away, but the general culture is relatively, the bakeries. You're like home now, huh?
I mean, I don't like there are some good ones, but it's not just something I just don't really like necessarily. I home cook everything, so
Oh,
besides when I
smart
like
man.
go get lunch with my mom or something, but um,
I got these wide shoulders from just a little deli shop where the cook's name is Sal, and you go in and you order a cheesesteak, and he knows your entire family.
oh yeah, New York.
That's a true story. Shout out to Deli Plus up in Millville.
I lived up
Uh,
in Connecticut for 4 years because of college. I went to college there, and yeah, it was the you bringing up the deli and going to Dunkin'. Christian Raposa can also attest, as he lived up there for not in Connecticut, but yeah, just the delis and the Connecticut's also known for its pizza. So
there's a fun fact, dude. Did you like this? In a John Surratt interview? Like, oh, so John Surratt, tell me which one to be whenever you wanted to grow up,
no,
a Bluefield legend, and that's what you all.
I guess. I mean, I appreciate all everybody. Something happened in Bluefield, Virginia. It didn't happen in Bluefield, Virginia today, but for a Bluefield, Virginia, team, Graham Golf, state champs. Obviously McCartney Hinkle was the individual from Graham last year. Now he's at Princeton, but they still came back out and went from runner up to state champs.
And now Princeton's up there, up at
Yeah,
the state tournament. So regardless,
McCartney's
that
leading.
competition, something, you know.
McCartney's leading the day individually up there. So he could win an individual state title in West Virginia, and Graham wins the team state championship in Virginia.
Well, speaking of West Virginia and Virginia, you're watching Appalachia Sports Talk. This is the Southern West Virginian episode. So, guys, now that we got some people up in here, go ahead, give us a share, please. Man, we are rapidly approaching 25,000 followers, like quick. So for one, thank y'all for the overwhelming flood of support you've given us these past couple of weeks throughout football season. We're setting PBs every weekend, man, for real. I appreciate y'all. Y'all just keep on supporting us. We got some big stuff coming. I'll say it. The West Virginia football game. We talked about it a lot today. That's going to happen. We'll probably look at springtime. So I'm just put some breadcrumbs out there for the big announcement of it. Location getting worked out as me and John sit here. So yeah, that's going to be huge. John, when that happens, we would love to maybe invite you down,
Yeah,
dust off the old mic, you
we'll
know?
see where I am in life. I got something going. Obviously March is sometime down the road, but you
Too
know
far away.
uh, if something happens, we might see.
Now, man, for one, what a time it was. Princeton, thank y'all for your hospitality. Cody was able to be their sideline for the AAA powerhouse matchup of Princeton and Greenbrier East. and it was a good one. It was, and we're going to talk about that some. But for real, shout out to Princeton and the fans. They're always very kind to us. Bluefield, Mitchell Stadium, get ready because Cody Hatfield will be boots on ground for that game tomorrow. One of our game of the weeks, which we will get into as well. Pikeview traveling to historic Mitchell Stadium for a showdown that should be a beautiful game of football. But first, we always start these puppies rolling. Shout out to our sponsors for this: Raynell Medical Center, Federal Healthcare at Home, and Bill Cole Auto Mall Bluefield. And forgot to put the logo on there again. Sorry about that, guys. But Burke and Herbert Bank. You'll see it on the little stanchion or whatever that's called down there. And our friend Mrs. Sarah Baker, Home by Hicks and Co. and Culture Grill and Cantina and the Little Grill and Jill. We got a lot of friends over in West Virginia. I appreciate y'all for real. Player of the week. So last week was Brad Mosser. He went crazy against Winfield. There were some compelling cases all across the region this week. Off the top of my head, me off the top of my head says nothing. Man, yeah. Anyways,
I could have said a couple, but I was just gonna let you go.
yeah, I was rolling there until I stopped rolling. Oh yeah, duh. What's funny is me and Cody talked about this today where I was like, there's a few kids that probably could have slid in there. Silas Nelson, 5 touchdowns in the first half. He had 188. Caden Sims, who people might be like saying, you're saying Caden didn't win it? Yes, but he went crazy. He had like 206 on the ground, 4 touchdowns, 67 passing yards, and a touchdown through the air. Went crazy.
Another game from Monroe County.
Oh yeah, Ryan Mann. Dude, what a season he's having. Oh my goodness.
Well, I was gonna say
What?
another Keaton from on that same
Oh yeah,
team.
Kate Connors.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, what? The pick was it looked like it was just written from an artist's sketchbook, man, for real. And I don't know, man, if y'all saw the video or just the videos, that dude's strides or something different, man, for real. Division One athlete, by the way, WVU baseball commit.
Not on the turf, but in baseball. But he
Yeah,
kind of
no. Let me just preface this now. People's like, what Caden him? The Caden Sims playing for Rich Rod? No, for baseball. Listen, y'all think he's nasty on that gridiron? See him on a diamond, cuz for real. Young man's like that. But this week's player of the week, John. I guess did you want to break this? I don't know. We talked about this beforehand.
I was gonna let you because it's a school that I didn't necessarily cover when I was at WVU.
Fair enough. Sherman Tide, stand up. Kevin Buzzard. Let's go, man. Shout out to my Sherman fans. We had a good one, man. With a stud. We finally get a Sherman player of the week, and I imagine them all right now. They beat Colson 50-30, and they had some cats put up some stats. That's for real. But quarterback Eli Pauley went insane. 15 of 18, 360 yards, 5 touchdowns, a rushing touchdown, and had an interception on defense. What a day. What? Man, did he go crazy. Deserves every bit of it. We got a video of the team letting him know. Sorry, I have the chats pulled up here. Cody told me how to pull up the chats. What up, Pendry Pendog? Destiny and Doug Coleman, when you go in and don't even get a menu, they just know what you're getting for real. But yeah, Eli Pauley, Sherman quarterback player of the week. Eli, congratulations, young man. Shirt will be on the way to you towards the end of the season. We're just gonna send them all out at one time. Man, what a week. Hard-earned Sherman, coincidentally, with this victory, dropped down in the single A ratings. Their rival Tug Valley, who beat them, their only loss on the season to date, actually slid up to 2. They dropped down to 5. but let that not diminish the amazing performance that that young man just put on. And he's had a dude. When we do these all area teams, it's going to be so difficult. I'll tell you what. There's so many quarterbacks just
Oh, yeah.
playing tremendous footballs, like out of the world.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be a tough decision for sure. I mean, everybody, like, it seems, if you're a competing team to make the playoffs right now, you got somebody back there. And I mean, that's
Yeah.
always, something you kind of need in high school football to win. So good for Eli to uh, keep Sherman, in the single
And
A
when
race for sure.
and when you look to your part of the woods, it's quarterback frenzy, right? I mean, you obviously got Chance, you got Mash, you got Brock Green, you got Brody Hamrick, you got
Right, man. Uh,
Gage
and
Price. Gage has played some good football this season too. Uh, quarterback frenzy for real. Jeremiah DeLong down there in Riverview,
yeah,
he's had a stellar season. Definitely
uh,
going to be hard. The
yeah,
honorable mention is just going to be like, because obviously, and we may run three teams. I don't know yet, but last year we ran two teams. So we're going to have like two quarterbacks. Then the honorable mention is just going to be nothing but quarterbacks for real. Uh,
it's
don't
gonna be
worry, those guys. We'll have some flexes put in there. But so boom, Eli Polly Sherman, quarterback player of the week. Congratulations, young man. Once again, you went crazy. Um, now also tomorrow, starting something else cool. I'm excited to announce this. Um, we're not stealing it from John or anything here, or
I
his
don't do it
former
anymore.
life, but we get sent a lot of highlights. For one, everybody, thank you for real. At this point, it's pretty cool. We hear from parents and so forth, where they tell us, "Oh, these kids they talked about these highlights in school, and they went to see which one of their buddies did put on the page, and all, and it's super dope, super cool." Um, and at this point, we're going to games on both sides of the state lines pretty consistently, so we have a decent plethora of plays to choose from week in and week out. So we are starting a top five plays of the week. That's every Wednesday, starting tomorrow. So I'm gonna just hop on here real quick. Maybe I coach John into coming on to one of these, and we just put the plays up, pick one. We'll think of a little gadget or something to toss out for it. I'm not gonna do a football or anything, but
Yeah,
we might send some shirts out or something, man. Shirts, people always love shirts, man. You can't go wrong with a shirt. You really can't. Plaques,
yeah,
they just get left up on the shelf. Shirts, these kids wear these shirts to school all the time. So it's like a perfect little just cherry on top for real. On top of a cool Facebook post, man. Kids love seeing themselves on a cool graphic every time.
yeah. I mean, obviously, when I was at, they're still doing, top plays, top the play of the week. At VBA, it's always, cool to see. Um, as
Wow.
Cody,
I didn't mean to show a
you got
comment
the.
there. That's cool.
I don't even see that. Oh, now it pops up on I'm looking at my phone with the comments. But yeah, no, it's pretty. I mean, if it's new to Cody, I think that's what he means. He said top five plays of the week is need to me. I think he means new, but we got in. We're
He's
you guys
definitely
are
new. We
spelling.
didn't discuss this.
You're spelling a lot of things wrong today. But anyways, uh, yeah, it's it's always cool to see who gets honored for a play that they made, in a big time game. Um, so yeah, cool that you guys are going to start to do it. Um, yeah,
Yes, sir. Cody, hilarious, man. He sent me a text that not the Donald Trump impression while you're talking about the shirts doing the hands. It's gonna be big plays. We're gonna send out t-shirts. It's gonna be fantastic.
yeah,
Boom. Also starting photo of the week as well. That's cool. We get a lot of photos sent in to us. We ain't too much into posting the photo type of world, but guess what? We get a lot of really nice photos. And we can start doing a photo of the week because there's matching shots that definitely deserve some more credibility in what they do get. Because them photographers, buddy, they work hard. That is
yeah,
um, you're not guaranteed the big clip. You're not guaranteed the big picture. You just are out there. You do it for the love of the game.
yeah.
Now,
Photography very important to while I was filming games, I'd see a photographer pretty much at every game that I went to, and then we go back to see whoever, if it was Sarah Clark at Graham or Greg Barnett at Princeton. Shout out them. They always did a great job. There's obviously a couple like Jason Day's doing Mount View stuff now. Top of my head, that's all, but there's probably a couple that I'm forgetting about. So
And they're everywhere too. Every school has them. Just people that just real great people. They typically do it for the love of the kids and for the grind of the game. Um, so starting off just to get through the week here, for a Riverside. Now this game, so the final score, they played Woodrow 42-18. At one point, this was a close game. I believe the score was like 12-8 going into half. And Woodrow just opened her up.
yeah, I mean, obviously Woodrow needs some momentum. Obviously inclined to host a playoff game at the moment. So uh, obviously, with Riverside, not the season that they're wanting, but for Woodrow, obviously wanted to not make it so close at a point, and try to, they've had some tough losses, and they didn't want Riverside to be one of those as well. So yeah,
Um, and they play Princeton this week, which is going to be a tough one. That's
yeah,
a tough one.
that was a big game last year for sure. So
Oh yeah, that one last year was crazy, and Woodrow almost pulled it off last year, almost.
yeah, and then Daniel Jennings showed why he went to Penn State. So on offense, but
Is it appropriate to say it on this? We don't know if he's going to be there anymore. Listen, maybe he hits the portal, maybe he stays to Penn State. I do know Coach Franklin, at least from our shoes, has been a big focal point to his recruiting and him getting there. So it'll be interesting to see for sure. Come on home, man. Come on home. Uh, Now keeping it rolling, Oak Hill lost the Capitol 27-7. Didn't have a chance to really dive too much into that one,
that was
but
close, just like Riverside Woodrow was. I think it was just 7-6 in the fourth. If I'm not mistaken. I was watching the stream for a little bit. I think it was just Capital. I think it was pretty sure it was 7-6 Oak Hill at a point, but Capital was in the red zone when I tuned in. So
well, Oak Hill getting tossed in the 4A, man, was like just rough for him anyways. And then that's a 3A opponent, but just in terms of points and rankings and stackings and everything else, that just hurts him some. Now I will jump down to the game of the week for us for AAA. Greenbrier East 14, Princeton 35. Number 2 defeat number 3. Cody was at that one. Big game. Battle of the quarterbacks. Both quarterbacks did not disappoint whatsoever. But man, I guess John, I don't know if you had a chance to watch that one.
that's all. I watched that from the beginning of the game till my phone died in the third quarter. So I watched the fourth quarter. But yeah, I mean, for Greenbrier East, obviously after losing 81-6 last year to Princeton, they kind of showed that they can definitely still be competitive in AAA. They obviously they dropped down to 5. Princeton stays at 2, but I think Greenbrier East showed why they can easily, meet Princeton once again in a month or so. I think Greenbrier East really, obviously going to Princeton's always tough. So I think Greenbrier East really showed why they, with Hamrick, uh with Subtle and Stone, Godfrey obviously didn't have a game that they would have wanted, but Princeton really held him in check, which is kind of what they have been doing as of late. They really want to work on their defense, because I don't think their offense isn't what they have always struggled on. It's been for them defensively to make it into get to now Charleston in order to win a state title.
For sure. I think you hit it right on the head. Given last year in the sour taste, I mean, obviously they didn't come out and win the football game, but I think they answered a lot of questions. The game to me felt a little closer than what the score reflected. To be honest with you, I mean it was a physical game. Greenbrier East come out on fire. They started to swing quick and heavy. Nate Suttle had that pitch in the first quarter. Beautiful play on the football. It was an overthrow. And then just their offense was clicking in terms of when the ball was in Brody's hands, he was dotting them up. Grant Burdette got going early, someone that I thought would have a breakout monster season. He is having a good season, but that team, I mean, I guess the fact still goes for them that when they're able to run the football for more than 100 yards with AJ Godfrey, they yet to lose. All kudos to Princeton defensive line, man, for real. Them guys come out there. That I do know that Greenbrier East team they lift. That's a strong physical front. Oh, Damian Thomas, young man for real. If Campbell Fish and Ram didn't put up 260 and 3, you were probably going to win 460 Player of the Week. Coming off of that game, I was like, that guy. I mean, he was a standout, and he's been a popular name being tossed around lately, and completely rightly so. That young man is having a great season, and he showed last Friday why he's one of the better defensive linemen in the entire region.
Yeah, especially with no Kaiser, he really stepped
Yeah,
up in that
yeah.
defensive line, and they might be getting him back against Woodrow. Last time I talked to the Princeton kids, that's kind of what they said. I haven't really been in contact with them in a little bit, but that's what they kind of told me that Kaiser would be back for this week against Woodrow. So that'll be obviously a pretty big help.
Huge, huge.
But yeah,
Um,
East answered a lot of questions, and I think you know I think 20 losing by 21 in the middle of the season, you learn a lot about your team still, and you got a month or so to, keep working and building. They can, you know, down the line, it might not be 21. It could be set, if they meet again, it could be a 7 point game, or it would be a lot closer, especially with such a, that play at halftime from Chance Barker to Wyatt Klein.
yeah,
That's such a, that takes the breath out of you a little bit at half. You're like, so
100%. If this Greenbrier East team cleans a couple things up, if they come out on the right foot against a lot of teams in AAA, they definitely have a chance to meet this team deeper into the playoff. Because obviously, depending on where teams finish, it would have to be probably what a state semi
yeah,
game.
that or state quarterfinal,
Quarterfinal,
yeah,
yeah.
seeding and all.
But Princeton, I mean, hey, it's just been what it has been all season long. I put a graphic out talking about the engine that if that offense is a Ferrari, then those offensive and defensive lines are the engine for real. I talked to some people recorded that way after the game from Greenbrier East, and it's just hard, man. When they have so many fresh legs, like when you're playing with pretty fresh legs in the fourth quarter, I mean, that's how you just pull away from teams. And that's what we've kind of seen this entire season, right? Princeton's went into halftime in some close-esque type of games. They haven't been trailing, but they also haven't been up by, say, 35 points in every single game at halftime. They come out of half, and I mean, that team has just been a different type of monster. And even in a game where Brad Monster only had 100 yards. Now, for one, it's crazy to say, oh, I mean, in a game where Brad Monster only had 100 yards, right? As if that's like a down game for him.
Yeah.
But to my understanding, he wasn't the most happiest with his performance after the game. Which for one, shout out to him setting that type of standard because he still had 2 touchdowns. Um, but that's something else too, man, is that this Princeton offense is finding other ways too. Other weapons are starting to step up. White Klein, amazing season. Amazing. Alex Cox has been like the guy this year. Love that kid, man. Great kid. Jake Belcher too. This Princeton team, when it fully plays 4 flawless quarters, I don't know if there's anyone in that class that can even hang with them. Now keeping it rolling. Uh, wow. Um, am I in AAA? What? Oh, it threw me off because Man was single A. So
Yeah.
Man played the rival Chapmanville. Chapmanville is on a heater right now. Dalton, that quarterback, is a dog. 55-0. Chapmanville's cruising. Now this was a good one. Number 14, Pikeview against Wyoming East. going down there to Waco on homecoming, and they spoiled it on some pretty big plays. This was a beautiful ball game to the point to where you know that it was a good game when you see after the game the opposing fans saying, "Man, that was just a good game." You know that team they just looked better this week, regardless they didn't win. They played a good opponent and they almost won. And that says a lot about that young team too. By the way, like that's a young team. Grayson Ashley's a sophomore. Gage Cooper, I'm not sure what grade I
He's a
believe
freshman.
he's a junior. Freshman?
Yeah, Gage Cooper, yeah.
Oh yeah.
They got
Oh yeah.
a lot of basketball kids now too. Um, I know about like Keegan Davidson. He joined the team. Braxton Morgan rejoined the team. So I think that's a pretty big, just for Wyoming East. Obviously coming off the Mount View win and then going into this and only losing by 7 to Pikeview, who is trying to be a AAA playoff team. I think it's pretty. Despite the loss, I wouldn't even think meant. Obviously kids might not think that, but that's a win in my book for them.
100%. 100%. Um, and some quick ones off of that game. I know Braden Mullins went crazy. Let me get those pulled up real quick. I have them. I should have sent them to you. That's on me, coach.
You're good.
Um, but Braden, I believe, had what was 165. Um, Braden had 159 for 3 touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions. Huggy, y'all wanted some love for him, and here it is. He had 80 total yards and a touchdown. And Peyton Mount's doing it all over the place. He had 50 yards rushing, 50 yards receiving, a touchdown, and a kickoff return touchdown as well. And on the defensive side, Owen Underwood had a big game, who he was also in serious contention for Route 460 Player of the Week. He had 5 tackles, 4 assists, and 2 sacks. And shout out to Henry Cox on the pick. Now, a great stat for this team really is last 2 games, the run defense has allowed 83 yards on just 34 carries. I think that's a testament to we had Coach Turner on here before. Well, as soon as he got hired, and he talked about coming in here and building a football program, right? He come from Ferrum. Brandon West said, "Where's Cody still doing toilet repair?" Pretty much. No, Cody has his son tonight, so he's not able to join us. Even though I've told him, give Mav a headset, put him on here. He can't say nothing worse than I've said on this thing. I promise you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that Pikeview team really is starting to form into a fun one. Uh, Tomorrow's the test for this Pikeview team, right? And you like, I don't. It's kind of like with Wyoming, he's going into the Pikeview team, right? I don't almost want to sound like stupid, but as just a fan, like, all right, well, so they're ranked 15th in AAA. So at this point, you're almost still fighting for your life. You're playing a class down. But in terms of just talent and team overall, this is a game that even if you don't win, but it's relatively close, you're going to feel good about yourself. You're going to feel good.
Yeah, especially Bluefield obviously missing Willis. It hasn't hurt them ever since the Indy game. But if Pikeview can stop the run, obviously it helps. Just Bluefield not be able to get into their flow a little bit passing wise. But if Jeremiah Jones can start going, it can really start going for Bluefield. It'd be tough for it's going to be tough for Pikeview in all aspects against the 4th-ranked team in AA. But I agree with your sentiment. Like it just with Wyoming East only losing by 7, I think that's a win in their book, despite the L on in reality. If Pikeview only loses by 7 or 14, let's say, to Bluefield, or even pulls away with the win, I think you still feel pretty good about yourself heading into the final few games of the season.
100%. And I mean, dude, shout out. I hope you're watching, dude. Jeremiah Jones, he has stepped up for this team. Losing Willis Wilson, obviously, at least in my head, man, that's detrimental. Jeremiah Jones has done an outstanding job for real. And to watch him develop into the running back he's developing into, being forced into this type of situation. Obviously, you have to look where your feet are now. But man, that like confirmed like 1-2-headed monster going into the next season. Both of those guys should have north of 1,200 yards that season, and that would be one of the deadliest rushing attacks in the state. And you're saying this about a team that has a quarterback who was offered by a Division One school going into a sophomore season, and a wide receiver who, I mean, he looks to be one of the better wide receivers in the entire region. This Bluefield team, I mean, the talent is through the roof, man. The youth movement that's trying to hit that program that's historically led by seniors, they're fun to watch, and it's going to be a tough task for Pikeview. Um, I guess I wrote down a couple of things here. Did I right? Yeah, no. A big thing is Pikeview secondary. I guess I was going to talk about this game towards the end, but we're here now. Pikeview secondary. That's going to play the biggest role in my head, to be honest with you. Can they do anything to disrupt the rhythm of Matt Simpson? Because last week, while Pax went crazy, um, Jordan Hess had 5 catches, 83 yards, 2 tutties. Um, so I mean, like they have athletes all over the place. Tylee Simon, that guy's lightning in a bottle. And he's a hard worker too. So when he does get the football, he's going to maximize every yard he can get. So this is going to be interesting for sure, for sure. I'm definitely excited for this one. Like I said, Cody will be there tomorrow night. That coverage will be brought to you by our friends over at Grand Home Furnishing. Shout out to our friends up there. They're going to hop on board with us to bring you some highlights, some post games, and a little bit else in between there. Now, oh, my notes out crashed. That's beautiful. But to
Right.
keep it rolling here, Shady got their first one too against Liberty.
For a second.
That was the second one. Wow.
I
but
keep saying Albans,
man,
but
well, I'll take my slap back then. How about that? But shout out to Shady. Didn't have a chance to dive into that one much, but that is I mean, I feel like for Shady Spring, that's a good win for the program. Liberty is a team that has kind of been on the other end of a couple of close games, but it's a team that hasn't played in too many close games the past couple of years. So that shows some good strides on that end. So I mean, great win for Shady Spring. One that I didn't expect would happen, to be honest with you. So I'm glad to eat my words on that.
yeah, if Shady was going to win, I thought it was going to be way closer than 20 points. So just how they, I have to assume that they got a little bit healthier. But either way, just how the downturn, obviously losing to Greenberry East, not the way you would have wanted, or losing to Oak Hill, and getting some county bragging rights against Liberty, and trying to figure some things out. Obviously, it might be a little too late to make a push into the playoffs, unlike what they did last year when they made it. But either way, it's still a big win for them, and obviously Liberty, it's a AAA opponent, so won't hurt them like so much in order to make a push into the postseason. But either way, obviously try to would have wanted to be a little bit closer against them.
And like I don't let me see real quick, just out of curiosity for myself, because it looks like those bottom five for double A look fairly open, to be honest with you. I'm trying to see if I can pull up where Liberty is.
They're
Because
not.
I mean,
Yeah, let me. I can load it.
huh?
I'm gonna grab it real quick just to see. Yeah. Oh no, that just shows top 16 or.
I forget the website I used to go to whenever I was in school to see like, is it just the WVSSAC.org? Is that what the thing is?
I'm out of my rhythm right now, Fred.
You're a little rusty, huh? Just toss
Uh,
me in there.
well,
No, but regardless, though, that's a team that I don't know the last
yeah,
couple of games on that schedule. Football
Liberty's
ratings. This is
25th from
25th is rough. Yeah. And let me see. This is at 2-5,
yeah.
and there's a decent bit of difference there. Williamstown. Yeah, there's some teams Riverview's fighting in there too. Nice to see Westside still sitting there too.
Yeah, they only
That's a
dropped
good team, and I just beautiful segue. Losing that game to Independence doesn't hurt nobody, to be honest with you. I mean, Independence is just a different breed of team this year. We've been saying it. Everybody's been saying it. Silas Nelson looked untouchable. Now, with that being said, John, I don't know if you watched this one, but I definitely caught some of it early. Braden Waldron, dude, when this kid develops, he's going to be a star.
Yeah. He looks, when they're playing opponents that are similar. He shows out for sure. Just as a
Yeah.
sophomore, didn't get any real time last year as a freshman. But either way, just it was. I can't remember the score off the top of my head from last year against Independence, but it was similar. And obviously, when you look at Westside from last year, you think they have one of the best teams in program history, and then just to be kind of similar on that same trajectory at the moment. I don't think with a young team again. Uh, I don't think you can't really for Westside they knew what they were getting into, and
Mhm.
you can't really bow your head a little, wanting to win, but such a tough team going up against.
And Braden Waldron, in the first, he made some plays. I think the biggest song from this season really has been the Independence Patriots red zone defense. I mean, they just forced turnovers out of the wazoo. That's a hard-nosed football team. And they have a big game this weekend out of one of the Ohio teams. Cannot remember the name to save my life. But to keep it rolling here, we got Logan and Scott. Logan beat Scott 35 to nothing. They're part of our game of the week. Mingo Central and Logan is going to be a huge one. Two top 10 AA teams, both undefeated. They're neighbors. They will consider themselves big rivals. And I've saw both people from these programs saying that this is the biggest game of their season. So this is a big power game this week, one of our game of the weeks. Logan, wide receiver, sophomore, Lucas Lambert just spent his Saturday over at Cincinnati. Um, I mean, that team's dangerous. Levante Kenny, he didn't play last year. I believe he's a sophomore this year. He's playing tremendous football. He just had another return touchdown. I believe that's two for him on the year so far. Mingo Central, this team's going to be tough and ready. We had them on the other day. Fun fact, I'm an idiot, as John's learned. I make a lot of silly mistakes. Just it's goofy stuff, man. Like I'm putting not enough R's in John's last name in the post and stuff like that. Well, obviously in full fresh off the clock fashion, I interviewed Mingo last week and I was like, oh, game of the week, fellas. Logan's right around the corner. What y'all talking about? Yada yada yada. And like they're playing into it. They're oh yeah, da, 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 da. And then it hit me off of a couple of their answers. I was like, is this their bye week? It was their bye week. So
Yeah,
I'm talking to Coach Jones afterwards, and I was like, Coach, it's us bye week, ain't it? He's like, I just thought y'all was like pre-recording an episode. So that's what we done. I kept that one in the tank for just a couple of days, and then I posted it yesterday to shoot the week off. But still, regardless, I think both sides of this game are going to take it serious. And this is a playoff game right here. We could very well see one of these two teams in the deep AA playoffs, to be honest with you. Mingo's a little bit more senior heavy, I do think. So like this is a group of wait, I'm lying. Wow, Mingo is not senior heavy at all. I lied to myself. That's a young team that's going to be around for a while. But I did see where senior wide receiver DB Aiden Berkeley got offered by Marshall. So shout out to Aiden on that one. But Logan, both of these teams have a bunch of dogs. Big old Rob Ball from Logan. I'm a fan of him. He was also all state on the mention last season. Big cat, big number 70. That's my dog right there. Gonna be a good one. Gonna be a good one. I don't know if you're familiar with that little part right there, John.
nope.
That's good football being played down toward those hills.
Letting you lead that because Logan and Mingo were not a part of my coverage area. Obviously, you had to cover when the schools would play locally for WVVA coverage, but um, not so in the know about the players and all that. So
Well, here's one for you. Riverview. Down
That's
in the
one.
county, they love some JON SURRATT. Riverview beat up on Webster County 40-14. This is a game where Peyton Lee was actually out for injury. That's been their star lead back this season. Ethan Christian, the sophomore, stepped up. He rushed for like 150 and two tutties, and had Destiny and Doug almost said Mino has six seniors. So, that team's still youthful, ready to rock and roll. I don't know why I said rock, so pronounce it. Team's ready to rock. But, Riverview. Anyways, but yeah, Jeremiah DeLong had over 100 total yards. But that team, they're fighting, man. They're clawing just to try to get into the double A. It's tough on them. It's tough. And I believe they play Bluefield next week, if I'm not mistaken.
That could
So
be. Pretty sure Bluefield. Yeah, Bluefield travels there. Pretty sure. Right after Lakeview, obviously. So
oh yeah, right. So that's going to be a rough one for them. That's going to be a big test. That review team, there's some talent, and those kids. I mean, I will say that program, regardless of whatever you think about that school, those people. For one, they are good people. Shout out to my dogs down that way, and two, this is a team that I've preached since day one. They have literally, I mean, you're talking about in January, right? They had 35 kids out weightlifting every single day. So I mean that generally produced wins, and that's what even without a star player such as Peyton Lee, they were still able to get a pretty convincing win. Now, John, when we done the pickums, I was the only one.
you were.
I was the only one, John. I believed. I believed. Um, one of my good friends who's a coach there that watches fresh off the clock. After the game, told me that and this is just, he wasn't physically, but it's just more of a sports saying. He said, quote unquote, I'm smoking on that Surratt pack.
Oh no.
So he definitely
I
saw the
don't live
live.
there anymore, but
Shout out to Aaron Hood Jr., man. He put up basically 200 yards rushing, two tutties. He's a freshman that had a lot of hype behind him coming into his high school career due to his legendary middle school performance and his time with the Two Live Crew, one of the local youth league teams, travel teams. And it's nice to see him get his breakout. Tanner Little had a big day too. Um, he had two catches for, I believe, 54 yards. That they were both big plays there. Let me make sure I got the right Tanner. So there's Tanner Little and then there's Tanner Castle, and I don't want to get the wrong Tanner there, to be honest with you. See, look, it was actually Tanner Castle. So I fully retract my statements. And so shout out to Tanner Castle with three big catches for 54 yards and that 2-point conversion. My boys played Tug Valley this week. I don't know if you're familiar with Tug Valley. They're ranked number 2 in Central A for a reason. Um, so
yeah, it's going to be a
I'm
little
glad
different than Summers
I'm
County.
glad they got them one, man. That team, you know, uh, I'm good friends with those guys down that way, great people. And when I talked to them, for one, from my understanding, they were pretty glad just to see Mountain View get them one. Like there's like a mutual respect there between the programs, which is always pretty nice. But I was just like, be easy on them, man. Call the
Yeah.
dogs off at like 35. But Mountain View, hey, come out there and show out because, brother, hey, you can still make a highlight tape and go to college off of it. That's for sure. But that'll definitely be a rough one, man, for real. This is kind of like West Side and Indy last week, to be honest with you. Like, you know what you're signing up for. Just go out there, play some good football, and you never know what'll happen. But
I
shout
do
out to
want
my dogs, Aaron Hood Jr., Midtown County Player of the Week, brought to you by Wright's Towing out of Kimball, West Virginia. Drop that bomb right there. Let's go. Uh,
I do want to say, why is it just the Surratt pack when 3 other people picked Summers County? Or am I mistaken? I know Cody did because we, we were on the same stream, and yet it's me who doesn't cover the area anymore. But it's okay.
that's a rat pack. And Cody said, if you're here watching, make sure you like and share the stream because Fred's bills depend on it. Uh, like and share the stream. What would have been nice if like my lights would have shut out right there, But man, so yeah, shout out to my county boys. Keeping it rolling just so we can course through single A real quick. Sherman Tulsa 50-30. Trey Lester had 190 on I believe 6 receptions and 2 tutties right there. Dawson Green was a wrecking ball as always. Chase Williams had a great game too. So that team, don't let them get hot into the playoff. I would love to see Sherman really just launch themselves into a good company seating to give us a lot of postseason Sherman football. Shout out to my dog Eli Pauly, man, player of the week. Videos going up. I say tomorrow. Um, Tug Valley beat Wayne 13-6. Tough game for Tug right there. I don't believe Bryson Eli played, if I'm correct. So that and then just sweeping by, getting the double A points definitely contributed to them climbing up those rankings there. Meadowbridge over Bland 38-14. Um, Caden Sims was Caden Sims, man. We gotta give him a player of the week. Caden, keep doing it, buddy. Hey, we got one coming to you. I promise you, man. I promise you. Now, I guess real quick, I didn't know that this thing's been on for 46 minutes there. I can talk forever. Game of the weeks, we went over Pikeview and Bluefield. Logan and Mingo Central is going to be a big one. Number 6 versus number 7. Another one that's going to be a big one is going to be number 8 Midland Trail at number 10 James Monroe. That's going to be a big game that's definitely worthy of game of the week. I believe Jaden Root leads the area in rushing yards up to this point.
Yeah, I could. He's definitely up there. And obviously James and Ro both are fighting for a home playoff game. Midland Trail would have that at the moment, but if James Monroe shows out, I don't know how the number. I really don't know how the numbers work, but you would think that they move up to at least the 8 to get that the home playoff game. It's definitely going to be two. I think James Monroe's biggest test was Bluefield, off the top of my head, if I'm not mistaken. But this is for Midland Trail. This is another big test for them. So we'll see how. Obviously they play Chapmanville, but I would say that's their probably biggest test at the moment. But this is another one. So we'll see how the Patriots respond to one of the better teams in Double A along with them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Xander Newton, I would love to know what his his sack total is at this point. That guy's going crazy. Um, that's gonna be electric, right? Because I think it's gonna come down to the trenches in that game, right? Brock Parker versus Jaden Root. And obviously they are a team that loves to throw the football. And if that Midland Trail pass rush can get active, uh, I mean it's anyone's football game. I don't expect this game to end in a blowout either way by any means. This will be one of those games that create memories for people's lives.
Yeah, James Monroe's gotten Trail a lot recently. Trail definitely thinks about that. And definitely is trying to, show that they're the big boys, I guess if you want to say now.
The big dogs. And then we got two sleeper games highlighted real quick. Montcalm versus Greenbrier West. Montcalm, I love to see them play some of the better teams, and Greenbrier West, historically speaking, has been one of the better teams. Regardless of down year or not, that's still going to be a tough opponent, a tough out. Um, and with that being said, Greenbrier West needs to beat Montcalm. They need to beat Montcalm
Yeah,
just
I
to
mean,
just to
both
keep that season alive.
both need the win. But yeah, it's when I saw it on the schedule to start the year, I was very intrigued because Montcalm doesn't really play that generally play some of the bigger single A schools. So very, very intrigued to see how Montcalm shows out. Obviously, coming off a loss, so we'll see how they perform against Greenbrier West, who is also coming off a you know demoralizing loss. You can say.
This should I put that on sleepers because this really could be the sleeper for like game of the week. Like after the games are done, you look back and you're like, man, that was a ball game right there. That one could be one that's interesting. Coach V versus Coach Haven. I mean, those are two great minds clashing together. And anytime you can have two respectful coaches butting heads, it's always going to be a great football game. And that's it. So that's the West Virginia side. I guess did I forget anything?
Forgot this
Did I
other
play
sleeper.
player of the week?
Well, we brought it up a little bit, but Princeton
Do what?
Woodrow.
Oh yeah, wow, sorry. What? The other sleeper there, I'm staring at it, is number 2 Princeton at number 6 and 4A Woodrow. I think with that one, I'm Woodrow, they have been a little I won't say guilty pleasure of mine, but that's a team that I have become a good fan of, and a lot of their players. But right now, man, I don't know if anyone in the area can rock with Princeton. Well, I mean, we're gonna see soon. Them and Indy last year was a blowout. I don't know if that happens again this year. So that's going to be that game's around the corner. What is
Yeah,
it? Is that next week or is it the week after?
it's one of the two. But
Right. Well, yeah, that's going to be a big one. So right there it is. I won't hit John with a bunch of picks because then I'll hit him up on game day 2 hours before kickoff and
yeah, we
say,
did do that.
John, you want to play pick'ems with us? Save me some time from rewinding and just give your answers here. Um, we'll see who smokes the Surratt Pack this week.
Dang, we
We'll,
got to do
we'll
better.
see.
We got to do better than my picks last week. That was didn't really.
Alex Klein, what? Appreciate you. So that game's on the 24th. So that's next week. So
Yeah,
that's gonna be a fun one. That's game of the week right there. That's game of the year potential. We'll see.
but maybe
Indy's
number one team in Double A versus number one team in Triple A. Maybe depending on how the
yeah,
numbers figure
well,
themselves.
because Princeton, if they do beat Woodrow, I mean, you're
Yeah,
getting the 4A bonus right there.
I don't see how that wouldn't bump them. I don't know who Bridgeport's playing, so but it's
Facts.
gotta move them up.
They're probably playing the Presbyterian School of the Blind or something there again. But uh, go Tigers. Hey, you can be biased to teams in the region versus teams out of the region.
Yeah,
That's
man.
completely acceptable.
Bridgeport
Now,
plays a
I
pretty
do
tough
understand
schedule too.
big game back to back for Indy for real. And that is Princeton senior night. So they're gonna have a little bit of extra electric there. And Princeton, they got some bro. JoJo Campbell, I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Oh yeah,
Transferring from Bluefield. He had some big plays. He had a PDU and he had that cutback that was
yeah,
crazy too. Princeton got they got talent deep, man, everywhere, everywhere. But so does Indy. Indy has 12 guys that can all just step into the same role and do the same thing, man. They just restocking it, man. They just go and go and go. I saw a stat talking about the running backs for like the past however many years. Disgusting, man. John Lilly, I'll pay you good money to be my dietitian for 12 months straight, man. Because you could probably turn me into an all-state running back. I guarantee it, man. They got a program up there for real. Shout out to him. Silas Nelson looks scary. Brock Nelson still doing it. Brock Green still doing his thing. Christian Leanswaller's doing his thing. KJ Byers is doing his thing. And that defense, man, is just relentless as ever. Relentless as ever. Um, so I guess that calls the West Virginia show. But it do. Just like that. John, I don't know. Listen, you don't have to sit here and just go through Virginia. If you want to like just brush over the Tassel games and you can bounce, and I'll just wiggle
uh,
my way through. No Cody
wanted me
tonight,
to
and
announce the
do what?
460 player, and I mean that's the only way I could do that. So I could only do the Tazewell County games if I did that. So
Well, John, let them know who your Route 460 player of the week is.
do we have stats in these notes somewhere?
Oh man, dude, Cody's notes are a lot different than mine. To be honest with you, nothing against you, Cody. I love you, brother. Um,
Is this hold up. Hold up. Maybe these were
I'm
updated.
just
Okay.
changing the design.
Hold on. Oh, I can get them here. Hold on. We can look because I know I watched the plays after from the game. Where's this Graham Pulaski game? All right. Oh, there it is. All right. Route 460 player of the week coming from Bluefield. Well, pretty sure he's a Princeton resident, but plays at Graham. Campbell Fix,
Ooh.
2 carries for 75 return yards, two touchdowns through the air.
Yep.
Am I mistaken? Yeah, and then the punt return touchdown. Um, so yeah, I mean, he kind of does it all. He gets punt returns and he punts for them. So I mean, he's a
Big
do it all
dog.
guy for the G men who are now won 2 in a row. So getting back on track.
And you will be seeing an interview after this, maybe a little bit later than 8:30 as we posted. But like I said, it fresh off the clock and it's not late, which is probably a bad thing to have the reputation of, by the way. You should never want to be the guy that's known for being late. But there's also an aura behind being late constantly. You get what I'm saying?
I guess so.
Yeah, uh, with Coach Palmer, Cam Fix, and Malachi Wheeler. That interview will be up after this. But he is your Route 460 Player of the Week. You can see Cam on the big screen starting tomorrow, coming up the hill, Route 52, right by Cold Front Parks. Um, John, you can see on Facebook because you now live back in Maryland. So,
I've seen him before, but yeah, that's how it
but
happens.
man, I guess we'll just jump to that one real quick so we can cut you loose for one. Shout out to the Graham G men. They faced a tougher Pulaski team this past week who has definitely um, looked better than they did last year. Sammy Cabracasco has been a great player. He's been a popular name for us so far this season. But Graham just they had that Graham-esque win. Like they needed one, right? They needed a 46-point blowout win
Well,
just to get them back on track.
that game was close. It was 14-10, and then pretty sure it was 28-10 entering the fourth. So Graham really put it on in the fourth, and obviously kind of need that win now going into district play. So we'll see how they really respond now with some more. Not to discredit Pulaski and Marion, but some of the tougher teams now back on their schedule after obviously somewhat of a gauntlet to start, and now they kind of finish off with a little bit of one to end the year.
Virginia High, they've been inspirational this season, to be honest with you. Caden Laws, their running back, young man's a monster. He has a player of the week up under his belt. And then their quarterback, Dion Graham, also, who was the week 0 player of the week for his performance against Richlands. He's having a great season, too. Jacob Rowe is having a great season. Shout out to my dog, Braylon Lester. He is a lineman who's going on a tour right now to all of you. He'll be at a game day visit near you soon, for real. That team has just been inspired. This is a big game for them, to be honest with you, right? For Virginia High. Almost just like I won't like little bro them, but Graham is a big mountain that they would have to get past to really pursue deeper dreams. And they have the chance to do it this Saturday at Tazewell. The game is at Tazewell. But so yeah, that's gonna be a big one. Has a lot of implications. Graham at this point have to almost not I won't say one out, but I mean if you're gonna talk about a four and lose one, maybe it can't be this one for real. And you still have some high powered offenses that you have to play on. They still play Richlands, dude. Richlands has been real this year, cuz Richlands has looked good. That won't be the easy game that has been in years past. And then they, of course, play Lebanon here in just a couple of weeks. Lebanon going through a little bit of a gauntlet themselves. They play Union this upcoming Friday, and we will be at that game as well. Sponsors TBD. We will post that up, and we do make the announcement on where we will be at your games near you. But yeah, real quick, shout out to our sponsors for the Virginia side, Goodson Supermarket. Every good town needs a super good place like Goodson Supermarket. And Sarah Baker, owned by Hicks and Co. Shout out to her. She's always the big supporter of Fresh Off the Clock and your local youth sports and First Community Bank up here. Shout out to our friends over at First Community Bank. Did not update the weights at the bottom. Sponsors are still the same. Player of the week. Man, for one, your fan voted player of the week. I'm gonna sound like Cody here real quick. Let me get my dude. What happened to the chat? Oh, Cody, where are you at? Testing, testing. Um, man, big poll had like over 1,700 votes. which is insane. We've started dabbling into some fan voting because there's some kids who, we're just like, hey, we don't want to make the choice. We'll just look at the public because um, I feel like the stats are a lot crazier than when I was in school. You have someone every week rushing 300 yards. Back whenever I was in school, that was in an anonymity, whatever the word is. Okay, it was crazy back in the day. But Brody Waddle, Northwood, you're a fan voted player of the week. Um, let me get my SWVA notes pulled up real quick. Yeah, Brody Waddle from Northwood had 1,200 votes. So for one, shout out to the Northwood Panthers for showing out for Brody Waddle. Graphic will be going up shortly. Maybe not. Maybe tomorrow. Uh, then you're just regional player of the week. It was a game that we were at, and it's always nice to watch the direct implications of just these guys and what they do on the field with eyes. Keith Chandler from Union, player of the week, 230 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. He was unstoppable against Ridgeview in a humongous game. Humongous game. In just a Mountain 7 clash of Titans on a 42-21 victory. And big shout out to our friends over at Piggy Winter Smoking Barbecue and Catfish and Duffield Lumber for showing us some love and our coverage there. And shout out to Matt Mullins. And shout out to the Union. The fans down at Bullet Park, man, y'all treated Matt well. He had a blast. He'll be there again this Friday for the Lebanon game. But John, real quick, Tazewell and Grundy, that's the one that you can kind of emote on me on for real. Um, Tazewell, they slid Walker Patterson back to running back, more of a natural. He was, what was it? He played receiver before the transition to quarterback. 26 carries, 138, and 2 tutties. And then Kyle Whitaker, 16 carries for 108 and 2 tutties. Did you have a chance to check out that one?
Well, I mean, it's just Tazwell's first win of the year, which obviously gotta feel good.
Shout out to
Now,
Coach Paget.
um, in I think Summers County, from my time at WVVA, is the only team without a win. So hopefully, they can get one at a point. Um, but either way, just obviously when you saw the score with Richlands Grundy, you thought Tazewell had a pretty good shot, and kind of showed why. Uh, they can at least Coach Badge is obviously doing a rebuilding project a little bit. Obviously lost a lot of seniors, but it's good for the team to get their first win under their belts.
For sure. And it has been nice to just see the real relationships that's been uh kindled through just years of playing against each other. I've really enjoyed watching the Tazewell County schools kind of give a kiss goodbye to these Buchanan County schools because Twin Valley, Grundy, and Hurley will be on Thursday. Hurley fans, stay tuned. All right, they'll be on Thursday. But how these schools have been really just like giving them a farewell, like, hey, we appreciate the history behind it. You know, South Gap, I believe is what it's called. They're just gonna have a bunch of just hogs, linemen, and running backs, all fighting for carries. But Tazzle, you hit it on the head. It's nice to see kind of just Coach Patrick get his first one. Great group of kids there. These are two schools that have had some decent recent success. Tazewell, obviously, with Carter Freezy and that legendary class there, really was able to put together some exciting football. I mean, I think back to last year, that game against Lebanon was electric. They were just trading shots. And Grundy too. Grundy upset Homemaker last year in the playoff. So it starts to see Grundy's last season kind of go out like this. But I don't have to say it because they already know it. Those are a great group of people down there. The coach. They were supposed to send me a hat in the mail. Dude, I'll rock a Grundy hat, especially once the school's closed, bro. That's gonna be fire. What? And I'll get me a Twin Valley hat. I'll get a Hurley hat, dude. Buckhannon counted up for real. But so yeah, I guess that's just kind of that. Where's Richland at? Richland's on here too, huh?
They're down the with Wise. I see him.
Oh,
I see.
Wise, yep. Um, Colton Elkins from Wise, he did break the 100-yard mark off of 26 carries. But Richlands 42-7, they are having a great season for their standing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously for them to, winless now 2 years ago, and then to have the momentum from, just 2 wins. Now they've doubled that already. Kind of like Pikeview a little bit. That's very, very,
Yeah,
you
honestly.
and they're showing why that they can't, you know, I remember, I only been at WVVA for 3 years, and when I covered Richlands versus Virginia High, week 0, I said to someone, I said, "This is the best Richlands team I've ever seen." And it was at halftime, and they're just they're Coach Davis is doing something there, and they easily. I don't know how it's going to work out, but if they make it to the into the playoffs this time around, which I think they should, uh, they're going to be. I wouldn't sleep on them. If you're a Union or a Graham. I know obviously Graham will still see them later on, but they're put in their best effort that they probably could with this group of kids that's really like showed out this year.
I think that right there really, they are putting out their best effort with this group of kids for real. Shout out to Coach Ronnie Davis. We had them on. For one, I don't know if you've ever had the chance to talk to him.
Oh, I have.
I think, yeah, yeah, dude, he's a guy I want to play football for, man. Like he just has that feel, that the way that he talks, like he's just an old timey football coach. Probably just like he's that type of guy that like probably doesn't yell too much, but when he does yell, it strikes everybody, you
Yeah.
know. Um, and those are some of my favorite coaches, you know. So shout out to them. Andrew Boyd is on a tear this year, man. 29 carries for sorry, wait, what? 14 and 19 for 243 and two tutties. And you put two more on the ground with 36 yards. And Jamie Capshaw had 83 yards, a tutty, and 2 picks. That Richmond's team is finding stride right now, which is good to see. Good to see. They obviously still have a couple of tough games left, but that's definitely going to be something to keep eyes on there. Um, so, John, if you want to go, I just got to get
All
through
right.
the rest of Virginia.
You
And
you go do that. So I'll see you later or at some point. I
John,
don't know.
it's always a pleasure, guys. In the comments, drop a football if you're going to miss John Surratt.
It's been a few weeks now. I mean, we're all good. But I'll see you, Fred.
Appreciate you, John. Boom. What's up, guys? It's just me. Shout out to John Surratt for coming on. For those of you who don't know, John was the sports reporter for WBBA there for, I believe, 3 years. He really grew to just learn and love the areas that he was in, which was mainly just Mercer, McDowell, Raleigh, Wyoming County, Tassau County, uh, Summers, Monroe, just that general chunk of the states. And so shout out to him for he stepped away, and he is the footballs, John, the footballs. No, but John, he decided to move back home as he is from Maryland. So John, best wishes, and don't worry, guys. I'll try to pester him to come on here as much as I possibly can. Because John, I mean, hey, obviously you can see that he was good at what he does. When John's on here, I feel like I'm on ESPN. Now it's just me. Like, all right, guys, what up, y'all? Shout out to my girlfriend. She got me this Owala bottle. That's for my church, Crossfix Ministries. Fire sticker. But boom. Now let's get into the thick of it. Um, so yeah, Keith Chandler, player of the week for the region. But had no fear because in the green waiver here, your Buckland Law Firm PLLC player of the week is Cooper Helvey. What a week. It's nice to see Narrows back into the win column. Cooper had 19 carries for a buck 83 and 2 tutties. Shout out to Cooper for winning the Buckland Law Firm PLFC Josh County Player of the Week bracket will be up sometime tonight, if not tomorrow. As you see, we're kind of running a little bit late here. These always go forever. I planned in my head 45 minutes for some reason. It seems reasonable. Never is. But just to go over a couple of big games in the area real quick too. So we were at Union Ridgeview, 42-21. Cam Bossick, he had 150 yards on the ground, 2 tutties. Both of those gentlemen both picked up offers from UVA Wise after that game, along with basically a lot of kids. The UVA Wise Coach Bass went crazy. Toby picked up one. Um, what's his name, dude? Carlos Anderson picked up one, I think, right? Shout out to that guy. He's a monster. Jalen Dill, I believe, picked up one too. And Dill still, he ran 138 on Union. I believe that's the most yards that Union has allowed to a single player on the ground this season. I know Walker just broken for 100 the first time last week, so big shout out to him and then Alex Grant, the opening kick return touchdown too. Then another big one that was huge was Eastside and Rockco, 24-12. And by the way, y'all go read up on Matt's recaps of these games too. He's a lot better at talking about these things than I am. But Kelvin had 201 and 2 tutties on 24. Landon looked like Landon. He had 178 and 2 through the air. And Rocky Bond, he had 8 receptions for a $160. He went crazy. Austin and Patrick Henry, 30-20. Eli Tweed, 25 carries for 178 and 4. And then Jeb Stewart, he had 190 and 3 on 30. Um, Another one of our game of the weeks was George and Grayson County. Did not disappoint at all. Isaac Smith, he had 100 passing, 2 tutties for 2 rushing touchdowns too. And then we went over Tazwin Grundy. I'm just trying to fire through these. Early got him a dub over J.I. Burton. Kanan Justice had 64 rushing yards and a touchdown. And then he had 77 passing yards touchdown and 7 tackles. Dylan Lester had 103 on the ground and 8 tackles on defense. Caden Justices had 100 rushing yards, and Aiden Baker from Hurley had 12 tackles. Now, Hurley's coming on, guys. We're going to have them on the show. That's coming. Patrick Henry from Roanoke put it on Christiansburg, but still, Sean McMurray from Christiansburg had 21 carries for 108 and a tutty. Then their rival across town, Blacksburg, beat Hidden Valley 43-0 without the ranch. Easton Holt had 111 passing, 62 yards and a tutty. And Matt Strom had 113 to the air and 6. Then our fan voter player of the week, Brody Waddle of the Northwood Panthers. They beat Auburn 34-24. That's a good win for them. He had 307 and 3. Man, what a game for Brody Waddle. Am I in the right week, Cody? Yeah, week 7. All right, good. Shout out to Brody Waddle, your fan voter player of the week. Shout out to the Northwood Panthers fans. I saw their Facebook page got in the comments and tagged the entire town. So yeah, they showed out for him. And also Waylon Nunley had 9 carries for 45 and 2. Radford 16-7 over Patrick County. Peyton Dobbins had 193 and 2 toes. Fred County still undefeated. They beat Eastern Montgomery 44-6. Lehigh 28-7 over Mary. Aiden Bates, who has had to be the guy to step up there this season. He had basically 204. What a game he had. Over there in Richmond, we talked about them. Twin Springs, Julian Pascal, 6 carries, 102 and 3 putties. Ethan Lane, 2 picks. Then over there from Castlewood, Jacob Foreman, he had 217 rushing yards and a touchdown. Gate City, 41. John Battle, 2. Walter Hillman, he had 155 and 3 cutties. Zane Reed, he had 3 touchdown passes. Kevin Hamilton also picked up one of the offers that UVA Wise used wisely. I like to imagine it's like NCAA in my head, and that coach back was like, I need to spend some hours. Think offers every dog in SWVA, but so that's basically the recap. I guess, right? Cody, are we forgetting somebody? I kind of went through the notes briefly, but we will talk about the game of the weeks for week 8. Um, at Tazewell High School. We talked about it. Graham hosts Virginia High. That's going to be a good one. Friday, hosts Northwood, 5-2 versus 5-1. Eli Tweed versus Brody Waddle is going to be must-watch football for real. Union hosts Lebanon. We will be at that game. Matt Mullins will be boots on ground, y'all. If you see him, tell him hi. He crushes it for real. Shout out to my dog Landry. You know, Billy for real, racking up the local. And I put a post out the other day that was like, UVA wise is going to be a national contender for Division Two. Um, Obviously the kids have to all commit going there, but there's one kid who's already committed named Mike Reese from Lebanon. I'll be honest with you, dude. I was telling Cody, you just kids have aura, right? Like you can just kind of tell. Sometimes who's who, you know. Mike Reese is just he's him. And they're smart. Them picking up Toby, I think, was a power move because that duo is going to translate so well to college if Toby chooses to go to UVA Wise, where Mike's already committed to. I would love to see it, to be honest with you, man. But um, if they, I mean, that duo, I would love to watch um, in college. Mike and Toby, dude, I'm excited that we're going to be there this Friday. Shout out to Tyler Talking Sports, man. They've been going through all of the Lebanon home games and just been tearing it up. They'll be at Bullet Park this weekend too. Union, I mean, they look great. They look almost, I won't say unbeatable, but they look elite. Lebanon, I believe, has the best chance out of anybody to derail them. You know, this should be a 49-56 type of football game. To be honest with you, wouldn't shock me none. Can the offense? Because then you got good old Lane Jesse down there. But then how's the Lebanon line hold up against the Union defensive line? So many premier positional battles that's going to happen in that game. That should be game of the century, man. Talk about some. We've been blessed with just big games back to back to back to back to back, and this is another one right here. That's going to be electric. And so we will be at that game, and then we will be at the Grand Virginia High game Saturday, the following day. So we are going to bring you some premier SWVA coverage this weekend, and then Cody will be at the Bluefield Pikeview game tomorrow for West Virginia, and he will be at Mount View and Tug Valley on Friday night. So some other big games: Floyd County hosts Carroll County. That's going to be a big one. Chilhowie hosts Rural Retreat on Thursday. That's going to be a fun one. Then Radford and Glenvar. I have to use the bathroom. Can I go do that real quick, Cody? I'm sorry. Cody, run the comments. I got to read that. Okay, I'm back, y'all. Sorry, y'all. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Um, Union can't get down 14-0 this week. Dude, Union, that was such an answer right there. I mean, for real. Ridgeview come out smoking. Alex Grant returned that opening kickoff. I mean, huge play. Then they did the pick, huge play. Man, Ridgeview though, uh, that's it's hard to hold that team off for 4 quarters straight. It really is. But Ridgeview, I mean, they fared well for the most part, you know. Um, that's a big game that you just really just that you do just want to win. But we've been on here for an hour 20. Um, Cody, talk to me, man. What's up, man? Um, Cody says, for real, if they go down 14-0 to Lebanon, Lebanon will win. It's hard to say that, but that Lebanon power, they have that offense has the power to apply gas constantly like that. Because I mean, man, because Lane Jesse showed some receiving ability this season, some elite receiving ability this season. That's going to be interesting for sure. Um, so yeah, um, guys, I guess this is it. It's 8:42. Mason's home. I have to make some spaghetti. Hopefully next week Cody will be on here with us and Matt. Can we get a hashtag that we want Matt in the comments so you can see this and feel motivated? It is hard to stop Lane Jesse, Toby Baker, Michael Reese. And Coach North is a brilliant football mind too. So Coach Norris versus Coach Turner is going to be electric. This is going to be beautiful, to be honest with you. Some great football is about to be played this weekend. Um, and like Cody said, if you stuff the box to stop Lane, Mike Toby have 200 on him. And he ain't even specified this might get 200 rushing yards. That is like Josh Allen. Big body, can move well. Um, so yeah, y'all, you'll be seeing us live. So like I said, we'll be at Mitchell Stadium tomorrow. We will be at Tazos Field on Saturday. We'll be at Bullet Park on Friday. We'll be at Bit Nation Stadium on Friday. It's been your boy Big Fred. I hope I'm not forgetting nothing. Be sure to give us a share, give us a follow. We're on the road to 30K, but we got to hit 25 first. So I appreciate y'all. Like I said, All-Star games coming. Y'all just keep on working with us. Give us time. If y'all want to see this happen, just keep supporting us. That's all we ask. Just keep on supporting us. And that when we ask y'all for a little help, just give us some help, you know? We don't have I don't ask nothing crazy of y'all, but shout out to the parents that help me constantly. I have a group of parents, man. They'll move mountains for us. I appreciate y'all. For real. Thank you. Um, and yeah, so y'all will see us tomorrow. Y'all have a good one. Keith Chandler, my friend, congratulations on winning the SWVA Player of the Week. Brody Water, congratulations on winning the fan voted SWVA Player of the Week. Cooper Helby, congratulations on winning the Butler Law Firm PLLC Job County Player of the Week. It's been your boy Big Fred. Give this a share. Uh, if you love football, share this post. If you love football, like this post. If you love football, follow us off the clock, man, for real. We have more sports coverage coming. This thing, though, it goes past football. We're already starting to ramp up for basketball. The big Wagyu's been spotted. That's like whenever that little furry critter for the Christmas for wintertime, what's it called? Is that a badger? I don't know. Is it a beaver? Whenever the beaver sees its shadow, it means just six more months of wintertime. The big Wagyu's been spotted. So that means the basketball season is around the corner, y'all. So stay tuned, man. Appreciate y'all. It's been your boy. Go give us a follow on TikTok because we're trying to always ramp that puppy up. And yeah, Brandon, appreciate you, Brandon. Thank you, dog. I appreciate you. And these people that come in here every week, week in, week out, and they talk to us in the comments. Listen, y'all, without y'all, we're nothing. And I want you to know that for real. Without the fans, we have no platform at all. So I appreciate y'all. God bless you. Pray for your family and friends.